Again, hitting last week real quick. For sure disappointed that we didn't get the victory. Did some good things, did some poor things. And what we call our keys to winning, plan to win. We lost 11 points with fumbled through the end zone and settling for a field goal in our first drive. So we leave 11 points on the board right there where we kick a field goal, drive one, and we fumble out of the end zone for what would have been a potential touch. And that was an unfortunate play. We're running open field, changing the ball, switching hands, reaching out. Just a very unfortunate, almost selfish play that we work a lot on. It's unfortunate that happened. That was a big play. There are a lot of big plays. Of course, the game would have been different regardless of that play. But we lose points there, and we lose 4 points in the kicking game. We give up a punt where we've got the returner corralled with 8 guys, but missed some tackles, let him out. We did block a field goal at the end, so we lose 15 points right there in our plan to win with just special teams and scoring zone. I think the turnover ratio was even 2-2. We want to, too many missed tackles on defense, but played hard on defense. Again, offensively, decent start, but then a very, very poor second half. Couldn't get the running game going. Quarterback got hit 10 times during the game. Thought we were a little bit, myself, trying to push the ball a little bit. We lost a scoring opportunity in the first half. At the end of the first half, got a 3rd and short, and had wanted to put either Cardell or Coop in and maybe make them think we're running the ball to get a loaded coverage to take a shot down the field, which we didn't connect. And we're on the 45-yard line, so potential maybe to get one more score. So in the first half, we lose a couple scoring opportunities with the field goal that we have to settle for. You don't like to kick field goals on the road. Fumble through the end zone, cost yourself 7 points, maybe a scoring opportunity. We give them a blown coverage where we have a defender blitz that shouldn't blitz. He should be playing coverage, and we leave a receiver wide open. So basically we kind of gifted about 25 points, and we lose by 4. And so had a chance at the end to get the ball back, and unfortunately a guy playing hard doesn't stop on the whistle and throws the guy to the ground, and it was a good call and cost us a chance to get the ball back. But the way we're playing at that time, the way we were blocking in pass pro, I don't know if we get the ball back if we're going to score, because we didn't do much in the second half. Had a really good first half, really poor second half. Just got beat at the line of scrimmage offensively in the second half and got to do a lot better there. So disappointed with the loss. Credit, Arkansas State played well and a solid team, but one that we needed to win, should have won. And going down the road, we're going to play those games coming forward. We're getting ready to go, and not to bypass the great opportunity this week we have, but we'll be on the road in 2 weeks at La Tech. I think that game's been set at 6 o'clock at night. Our next contest after this one, then the following week we travel to North Texas. So we'll continue to be on the road in some games where the opportunity matchup is going to be pretty good, but you got to play well. And, of course, we got to play a lot better to get victories. And not disappointing our team, not mad at our team, just showing them the mistakes that cost us. We're going to never be perfect, but we got to eliminate the self-inflicted wounds that definitely, when you're a young team on the road, I think we got some talent. Love the way our kids practice, love our kids, love our team. Just disappointed we didn't get the outcome. And then this week, I thought some players played well, played hard. Kirk started well. I was 11-13 out the gate, but then we protection didn't break down the running game. It didn't get us in balance. We'd take a shot and protection break down, miss it, or we would run the ball and get second long. We just got too many long yardages here. I think we had 6 3-and-outs. In the second half, we had a 4-play drive with a turnover, 4 3-and-outs, a scoring drive, and a 6-play drive. So just 20 couple plays in the second half. So just a bad performance there. Cam Benjamin played every snap offensively. We got to get our young players going more and get those guys on the field. Miles Jackson, played a whole lot defensively. Keywan Parker played the majority of snaps at corner. We've got some young players that got to keep coming through. We got to keep enhancing the depth and all that stuff. And then this week, playing a great team in Oklahoma State, top 15 rated. I've already played 2 really good games out the gate, playing a tremendous team in South Dakota State, defending FCS champions, and then last week a great battle with Arkansas, a heck of a game, and a great victory and a great comeback. So they come in, they're veteran, offensive line, a lot of maturity, most starts maybe I think in the history of college football coming back on a team, a tremendous running back, a premier player in the country, 7th-year quarterback, I don't know if I'm into 7-year players. I think we're going to get one of these days it's 5 years, no red shirt. I know COVID got us to 6. I told a couple guys they were 7 years when they come back, they need to get a job and start working, and it's time to get out of college. Sometimes you got to tell your GAs, get a job, move on. You're not going to get the Notre Dame job, man. Go get a FCS D2 job and start coaching. So, but they got a lot of veterans. Great skill at receiver. Solid at tight end. Just a complete offense, and defensively, I guess maybe they just lost one of the best players in the country. They're very impressive defensive end rush player. Their linebacker, Nick's tremendous. Flies around, one of the premier linebackers in the nation. Great scheme, coverage. A handful of players that will be all Big 12 defensively. So a complete team. Great in the kicking game, always have been. Mike's been there forever, one of the premier coaches in the country. They've built that program with great fan base, and I know it from years ago, but just being back in here. Of course, when you live in Tulsa now, there's a lot more Cowboys in town than it was when I was down in Oak City. That town was a little bit more crimson. It's up here, it's kind of a 50-50 deal. So a lot of prideful fans, great school, and a great challenge, and looking forward to the opportunity to play at home with those guys. And I think we've got a potential in this day and age of realignment. You never have guarantees, but I think we've got on the books playing these guys for several years, which would be great for us and great for the community, and hopefully that'll keep going as we go. So, tough loss, good football team, working to get better, young team, great challenge, and a great team coming in this week.
Michael?
Given all the changes in realignment and things that happen in college football, do you see games like this with Oklahoma State as being more or less likely going forward for a school like Tulsa to play?
It'd be interesting because there's some of these realignments with the leagues that I think it looks like potentially with the new college playoff. I don't know how much jumping around there's going to be for a few years. I think there's a lot of money on the table. It's locked the conferences into a 4, 5, 6 year deal, and I don't know. There's certain teams trying to move conferences that are contractually locked in. I do think we'll get potentially to a day and age where there's probably not NCAA per se, but a super big league of football, and then there's going to be a middle league of guys that will play NCAA maybe in all the other sports with basketball and softball and volleyball and track and tennis and all the golf and all those championships. But maybe in the football world, there's probably going to be maybe 3, maybe 4. I don't know how the buckets will work out. We want to position ourselves to stay strong enough to play in as competitive and as high a bracket as we can. I do think those teams always, first of all, from a regional standpoint, I think, I know I can't speak for Oklahoma State's administration, but I know Joe Castiglione said at OU that to come up here to Tulsa was great for the fans. So, it's easy travel in this day and age of expenses, and you got to minimize some things. It's not like, we're paying each other a lot to come over, and our venue maybe is not as big when they come here, but it is, a break for some of their fans that travel to Stillwater, 6, 7, 8 times a year. So in some ways, they'll have a huge crowd. They'll have as many fans probably as we will. So in some ways, I'm excited to play it. It's nice that we can continue. I know having been in that league and having been in other leagues where you're in the bigger league, you like to have good matchup games. In this day and age, too, you look at the teams. A year ago, you saw us play Northern Illinois. You just saw what Northern Illinois has done. And, they have greater resources, greater players. NIL, you're going to buy more depth and have more players, but it's still a team game. And when you can get some chemistry and build a program, sometimes those are great matchups. So it'd be nice, but it's not my call. Our call this week is to put together a great plan and compete as well as we can and keep getting better. Have a great day in our stadium for our players and our fans. But I think it's great we're playing them. It'd be nice to continue. Playing teams with the region. Arkansas is close by. KU's up the road. Makes sense to play some of those guys if it protects itself. It projects to do so. And I think our conference is good enough. You see our conference continue to play the Big 12 and SEC teams and Big 10 teams. And it'd be nice that we could continue to do so ourselves.
Yeah, if you could talk about, after 2 games, some of the progress of your younger players. How do you think they're doing? How do you think they're progressing?
Okay, I still think, we need to, I think from a coaching perspective, we got to trust them a little bit more and get them out there. I think, position coaches, you get games, get a little close, and you want to go with some of your more veteran guys, but sometimes you can wear them. And I don't think that affected any performance Saturday as far as somebody was tired, at the end of the game. But I think the wear and tear of the season, you got to play more guys. And in the kicking game, you got to play more guys. I think it's better for team morale, team camaraderie. I think Byron Ellison's a tremendous tailback, didn't get in this game. We need to get him in. Lloyd Avon has shown flashes. The young receivers are coming along. We haven't played any of the young linemen or tight ends that much yet. Defensively, we're getting some play out of the secondary. Ashton Williams played very well the other night, playing some of our nickel and safety positions. We got to keep bringing those guys along. So I like them. It's a tremendous class. There's still a little, I would call, high school in them, where the consistency of just practicing hard or paying attention or understanding, and that's just growing pains. But as a talented group and a group of kids, it's a group that fits us. It's a group I love, and we, I talked to. That was one of the things I addressed immediately after the game. Matter of fact, I addressed some of their looks on the sideline of maybe a little disappointment not playing. I said that's not really the right look to have. I'm sorry you're not in here. The only substitutions I made the other night was putting a couple players in offense for a couple key plays we wanted, and that was just spur of the moment. This play, I need this guy. But I kind of like the position coaches play the guys, and I've challenged our coaches, keep developing these young guys, and let's do our deck. And even though we're playing a great opponent this week, we got to throw some of those young puppies out there and get them going.
How does the approach change defensively from playing somebody like Arkansas State that has a dual threat quarterback to somebody like Oklahoma State that has one of the better running backs in the country?
Yeah, but with that, what they do a great job of it, and with Alan Bowman being such a veteran player, they do so much, and everybody does RPOs, but they make a great deal of their stuff off the run pass options and throwing out there to Brennan Presley and their other good skill guys. So, there's still the threat of like last week, the threat of the quarterback could, and they threw RPOs last week as well, but the quarterback could run. Allen can and will run, Bowman will, but you'll see these guys RPO'd a little bit more and get the ball down the field and out in the perimeter and all that stuff with a tremendous running game. It's a heck of a deal. You got to load up to stop the run, so you're one-on-one playing pass. And that's kind of what they want. You sit back and play pass, and they got a veteran O-line, some really good tight ends that come off the edge and take care of the edge well, and you're getting a big back going downhill. So it's a complete offense and a good offense, but you maybe just don't talk as much about the quarterback run game, even though Bowman will run. You just talk more about how do you stop the run and handle those RPOs, and of course then they're going to do it with tempo. You can see last week how they get in a tempo and get going fast and all that deal. So different, but in some ways there's a lot of similarities in how to fit the run, stop the runs, and now instead of the running threat, maybe more of a passing threat with like I said, a veteran guy who's throwing to some great targets too. I think he had a couple receivers last year, 100 catch. I mean, he got some tremendous tailback coming at you, and a lot of speed in the perimeter. Going to score a lot of points against a lot of people this year.
Bruce?
Coach, last week, Arkansas State, and you guys knew this, but they have a massive offensive line, so it was, maybe hard to get pressure. And then this week you have the experience of their offensive line. I mean, is that one of the major challenges, trying to get pressure?
Yeah, I think as always, we thought last week and the same this week. When you're playing the team we just played and the team we're getting ready to play, if they can run the ball, they're going to be two-dimensional. It's going to be very hard. So you're playing with the best running backs. You got to find a way to stop the run. That was our deal last week. We had to run the ball, which we did in the first half, and if we did, you could have some balance. When we did it in the second half and have some balance, it was very much a struggle with these guys. You've got to normal downs, do your best to stop the run. If they're getting 4 and 6 and 8 a clip and playing downhill and playing on schedule, and then they can do the run and pass combinations, you're playing on your heels. So we had passing situations, then we got transition into some pass. We had 9 hits on the quarterback last week. They had 10. We had 1 sack. We gave up no sacks. Kirk did a good job of getting rid of the ball, but we got to protect it better. And we do got to get more pressure, Bruce, and we got to do it sometimes without pressuring all the time. We've got to get some 4-man rush and work the edges and just continue to improve there.
Zach Marcaselli's coming in there in a little bit. How do you evaluate the way he's played the first 2 games?
He's playing hard, and again, I think a guy probably, maybe played a little too much because of the special team stuff as well. That we got Chris Thompson with him, spent a little bit of time. They both played about 40 snaps apiece. But Zach does a great job of special team play and is on our cover units, and I think it takes a little bit of toll. So we got to keep bringing Mario. But Zach's a great energy, a fun kid, great kid. I go back knowing him. He was I didn't know it at the time, but he was in kindergarten when my daughter was in kindergarten, so they were kindergarten classmates together years ago. So knew the family. My wife knew his mom from years ago. So glad he's here. He's off to a good start. We want to continue and finish strong this year.
Larry?
And just if you could talk about the quarterbacks, talking about Kirk obviously is playing, just the situation and just how everything's going.
Yeah, I mean, we got to continue to play better. We only threw for 199 tonight. That's protection. It's running and run pass. And again, those other guys do give a threat a little bit more. We had a couple plays with Kurt. Matter of fact, we had one opportunity where the ball was trying to be pulled and the running back wouldn't let him pull it. He took the ball and. But we were trying to get a little, Kirk a little bit of you've got to make them account for everything, whether it be run pass option or quarterback run option. So, Kirk's playing well. Did have one pick. It was unfortunate. We had a receiver inside release on press coverage. Two guys get jumbled up. We trip, fall down. We just throw a ball right to a spot where we're not at, and he's also getting hit. So, Kirk's playing well, but we got to take care of him. He's playing. He's a really good player. But he's really good when we're really good, and this week's going to be hard to be good because they got a great defense. So when we can block and stay on schedule and protect, he's awesome. The other guys can run around a little bit. We got, Cooper just a couple snaps the other night, getting him in a goal line, put Cardi out there on a couple situations. We'll keep letting it. I do like the way the other two guys continue to practice and play. I like the way Kirk's playing. They're all really good. They just have different strengths. And last game played out where Kirk got the majority of. We'll see how this week goes. And, I'm proud of the way he's playing, but he's got to play better. He's got, they got a seventh-year guy. They got a guy that threw for 600 yards, 6-7 years ago. And we got a guy playing his sixth game. So there's, we got he's got a lot of work to do. But he's a great kid, talented kid, proud of him. And also like the way Cardell and Cooper, I like the way Corey's handling it, and I like the way the room's handling it. Selfishly, everybody wants the ball. Everybody wants to play. And right now, those guys are working hard. There's a lot of ball to play, and we're going to keep letting it play out.
And also, could you talk about the progress of receivers? Obviously, I know losing Ballard isn't easy, but talk about how the other guys are doing.
Okay, Cam's, a guy that's gotten a lot of it. We didn't get as much going the other night. We missed a few. I think Grayson and Brendan Presley are doing okay at the slot. Like to continue to see him play better, but they're doing well. Zion Steptoe has done okay outside. We got to keep bringing along though. Joe Williams, Josh Smith, Alex Green, those young guys. Jacob Emmers played a little bit. I miss one. Corey Smith has played well. I mean, those guys got to keep coming on for us. We're going to have to play those guys.